about some TWF mantras to start the day. You know, trust the process. Let's go here. Yes. Hello, punters. Good morning, punters. Good morning, Max. Me, Alward. First punters in for the day. Settle in, plenty of winners today, people. The goat's going to be live most of the day. Holding your hand, guiding you through. Guiding you through another day with the goat. I think we better start off, you know, doing the right thing.
Others, NATHO live, very soon, kicking off, get ready.
We've started. Let's, just while I set up and we wait for a few people, we'll watch the TWF mantras, eh? You know, we do this in style here, don't we?
Others, NATHO live, very soon, kicking off, get ready. Seraphim's got something she wants to say to you before we begin. It's important, punters. Put your seatbelts on, eh?
Remember the mantras.
Hey, it's Seraphim here. Yeah, I know. Nathan wrapped the gold Porsche around a pole on Friday, but we pick you up for the weekend. Starting now, you're here, you're breathing, and if you put your arm up, the mantras make sense.
51
you gotta
last
memorize
night.
them.
You know the TWF.
Burn them into your brain, because this isn't a hobby. It's a code. Let's go over them so you remember why you showed up tonight. 1 week is 1 bet. Trust the process. Hidden merit equals value. Racing has patterns. Rinse, recycle, repeat. Patience is a virtue. I have faith in desolate times. We're W Fing it. We win when you win. Another winner. We're W Fing it. FKYA. Can't bat, can't catch, can't bowl. Put your name badge on. Get in line. I'm NATHO, not Negan. I'm the GOAT. You're the GOAT.
Good go.
Large samples of data punters, equilibriums, medians, means, averages, outliers.
Important.
God isn't real. The punter known as the GOAT, TPKG, is. I worship only him. You got your TWF bandage. Wear it like a badge of honor. You crashed, you burned, you pay $9.90 for 9 lives every day. You're fine. Shut the fuck up. You're in the gold Porsche. We're driving fast. Don't talk to the kid next to ya. He smells. His mom's hot. It's the only reason he's here. Count the white lines in the middle of the road, out the back window. You're winning. Put your fucking seatbelt on. Shut the fuck up. Stop crying. You'll be winning eventually. This is the winning factor. This is NATHO Live. Let's begin.
Let's
There
begin,
you go,
punters.
punters. That's what Seraphim's got to say. Settle in, dig in. We're here for the night. We win. We win.
We win when you win. Excellent show last night. 3 hours, 37 minutes. 50-1 winner in the first race at York. 6-1 winner in the second race. 7-4 in the fourth race. Plenty of good content for Scone last night. We crossed the ace tenner for 9 tennis players to follow during the qualifiers of the Roland Garros French Open, which kicks off next week. Qualifiers do at least anyway. The plan today. A couple of things I'll touch on first. If you want everything in depth and you don't want to have to come in and out of the live, I'll be live a lot of the day today. Here we go. The first troll's here. He's arrived. We just got to do this because we don't want to get disturbed during the course of the day, punters, you know. So the objective today, punters, if you don't want to have to come in and out of the live, the best place to be is over in the TWF lounge, all right? Go to twfhorseracing.com, click on Best 5, all right? $9.90 a day. You get Best 5, you get all the previews. Previews already up for every race. Scone, Kembla, Doomben, Flemington, Morphettville Parks. 5 venues covered in full depth. You also get Live Trader. The Live Trader sheet updated during the course of the day. Today's live is a little bit different to the night structure, purely because I'm dealing with clients updating live during the course of the day and stuff like that. So you're going to see everything happen here. This morning, we're going to run through previews for different meetings. I think we'll start off with Doomben, because we haven't done Doomben yet. I did say last night that we would cover Doomben. We just didn't get time last night. We didn't get time to do Kemley Grange. It's a 3.5 hour show. There was so much depth to it. So we'll go to Doomben first, and that's where we'll start. we'll kick off from race 4 and do, I think, 4 through 9. It's going 6. Just let me pull this up. It's going, where's Doomben? Yeah, so that's the plan today, punters, is to go through and do that. It's going, just let me get down here, Doomben. Here we go. All right, so we'll start off from Doomben race 4. All right, the Burnborough, 1,600 metres listed. Let's get into it. We'll do the verbal, then we'll go to the market.
Venue, Doomben, race 4, Sky Racing Burnborough Handicap. 1,600 metres, listed, soft 7. The 2025 Sky Racing Burnborough Handicap at Doomben over 1,600 metres brings together a strong listed field of middle distance gallopers, with a blend of class, local form, and wet track depth. With the rail in the true position and the track rated a soft 7, it should play fair, though horses with proven soft track credentials and tactical versatility will hold the advantage. The pace looks moderate, with Coin Toss and Cosmic Vega likely to take up the running. That opens the door for the main contenders to settle midfield or better and produce late. Al Mubir is the standout. The European import drops back from Group 1 company and brings serious form credentials, including a 3rd enlisted grade at Nottingham. His soft track record, 1 win, 2 seconds, and 6 placings, highlights his suitability. James McDonald takes the ride from barrier 2, allowing him to settle forward and strike off a controlled speed. On class and setup, he's the one to beat. Tenzing is the local weapon, coming off a win in the listed Brisbane Handicap. His Doomben stats are elite, 2 wins and 2 placings from 2 starts, and he's 4 from 6 at the mile. Barrier 9 isn't ideal, but he's flying for Tony Gollin and thrives in these conditions. Cosmic Vega adds X Factor. The Kilmore Cup winner thrives in the wet, with 2 wins and a placing on rain-affected ground, and handles the mile well. Second up stats are a minor knock, but he's fit and maps well if he can cross early. Brookhaven is your sneaky value runner. He draws barrier 1, has been ultra consistent of late, and has solid wet track stats. He gets a soft run and has shown he can produce a turn of foot when conditions suit. Sibak returns fresh and is a first-up specialist with a 1-3-1 record. His benchmark 100 third last prep is solid form for this, though he may need the run to be fully wound up. Osmos has Doomben form and a gear tweak first up, but she's been out of sorts and may need to lift significantly to feature. Cointoss could control things up front if allowed to bowl along, and while his recent form is below best, he does have black type placings to call upon. This race revolves around Al Mubir's class and drop in grade, but Tenzing will make him earn it. If they overcook the speed early, Cosmic Vega and Brookhaven could be the closers to watch. Top predicted contenders. Al Mubir drops from Group 1, soft track stats stack up, and maps perfectly with J-Mac from Gate 2. Tenzing, in career best form, perfect track and distance profile, stable flying. Cosmic Vega, Kilmore Cup winner, handles the ground and suited if tempo builds. Brookhaven draws barrier 1, ultra consistent, and a live place hope on soft 7.
All right, punters. So let's run through the market in race 4 firstly. Okay, Al Mubir rated 3.70, currently being bet at 3.3, minor unders. Tenzing rated 4.2, being bet at 3.9 currently, minor unders. Cosmic Vega rated 6.5, being bet at 6.5. Brookhaven rated 8.5, being bet at 8.5. Osmos rated 10.6, being bet at 21. Sibak rated 12.5, being bet at 3.4 unders. Cointoss rated 20-1, being bet at 16.0. As you can see, no major advantage in the market. Look, if something is unders in the market, it's definitely Sibak. For mine, it's not a betting race at this point in time. I don't see any advantage there. And as you know, I don't get involved unless I see advantage. So I'm going to move on to race 5. This is the Spirit of Boom Classic Group 2 for 2-year-olds.
Venue, Doomben, race 5, 7 Spirit of Boom Classic. 1,200 meters, Group 2, 2YO, soft 7. The 2025 Spirit of Boom Classic at Doomben brings together some of Australia's sharpest juveniles in this Group 2 clash over 1,200 meters. A soft 7 surface, combined with a true rail, ensures a fair playing field, but wet track credentials and barrier draws will be key. Expect a genuine tempo with high Barbie and Earn to Burn pressing forward, creating a genuine test for late closers. Grafter Burners is the headline act. A dominant QTIS Jewel winner and a strong fourth in the Group 2 Millennium, he brings the deepest form into this. He's proven on soft ground, and his recent trial win suggests he's primed to peak.
Thoughts on King Zephyr? I'll answer that quickly while I'm in the middle of this. Look, at the short price that he was the other day when I looked at the race, I think Limbs Kosciuszko, with Group 1 proven sprinting form, you know, it's going to be hard to hold out. I don't want to take a short price about King Zephyr. I'd rather be on Limbs Kosciuszko at 7.0. It's a pretty weak race, but I'll continue this for now.
The wide barrier 11 is the only knock, but if he gets cover, he'll be hard to hold out. Cool Archie is the home track hope. He took out the listed Dalrello Stakes at Eagle Farm in style and has a win here at Doomben on a heavy track. He draws barrier 4, has strong form at the trip, 1-1-0-0 at 1200 knees, and maps to sit just behind the speed. If the rain comes, his chances only improve. Gallo Nero brings top-tier Gold Coast form, having placed third in the Magic Millions 2IO Classic. He's won on a soft track, trialed well, and has serious class, but he'll need luck from barrier 12. Torque, to be sure, is the consistent grinder. 3 consecutive seconds, including in the Dalrello, show he's knocking on the door. He handles soft ground, trialed well since, but draws barrier 10, which will test his ability to find a spot early. The Creek could be the blowout. A strong 1,300-meter win and a solid fourth in the QTIS Jewel suggest he's still improving. He maps sweetly from gate 5 and gets through soft going. He'll be strong late if the leaders falter. Biscar has been targeting these races all prep. A Kindergarten Stakes third and a perfect draw in barrier 3 give him every chance to show up. He's sharp enough to land midfield and pounce. The race shape sets up for something charging late if they overdo it, and both Grafter Burners and Gallo Nero will be there if that happens. If it's more controlled, Cool Archie and Beskar could land the right spots and fight it out. Either way, wet track form will separate the winners from the rest. Top predicted contenders. Grafter Burners. QTS Jewel winner, Group 2 form, trialed up, and loves it wet. Cool Archie, Dalrello winner, heavy track form, perfect map from barrier 4. Gallo Nero, Magic Millions third, soft track winner, and strong late closer. Torque, to be sure, consistent, handles conditions, wide draw the challenge. The Creek, peaking type, 1,300-meter win, barrier 5, sneaky late threat. Beskar, Kindergarten third, barrier 3, and likely to get every hope in running.
All right, punters, let's run down through the market as it stands. Top rated, Grafter Burners, 5.5, being bet at 9.5. Cool Archie, rated 6.2. Cool Archie, being bet 11.0. Gallo Nero, rated 7.0, being bet at 5.0. Talk to be sure, rated 8.2, being bet at 12.0. The Creek, rated 11.0, being bet at The Creek, is it out? The Creek, where's it? Being bet at 14.0. Beskar, rated 14.0, 4.0 favourite, unders. United States, rated 16.5, being bet at 7.0. What I'm going to do is run down through the top few here, give you my opinion. The one, Grafter Burners, top rated by Graf out of a Dylan Thomas mare. Comes off the QTIS Duel win over Pink Vixen, and better luck next time. Look, I've got a concern about the quality of the form coming out of Grafter Burners' form lines. Remember, the previews I give you and the ratings I give you are based on what Seraphin does first, okay, all right? I come over the top, that's how you get your winning angles. That's how you got your 50-1 shot last night in the first race. The Star Spangled Banner horse out of an acclamation mare, real speed on speed that was. Can't believe they bet 50-1 last night, that. Second top-rated, Cool Archie, by Cool Lads of Beale out of a Tail of the Cat mare. Got a lot of time for Cool Lads of Beale. He's doing good things as a stallion. He won the Dalrello last time out over Talk to be sure, with Midnight Spirit back in third. Out to 1,200 now. He's going to suit even better. It's a wet track pedigree. Not too concerned about him on the wet track. He won at Doomben first up on a heavy track. Comes through the McLaughlin back in December behind Icarian Dream. It's decent form lines. But then we get to Gallo Nero, the Wooten Bassett colt, out of the very good I'm Invincible mare Shanty. Draws the 12, Tyler Schiller up. Michael John and Wayne Hawkes have come here with a mission to win the JJ Atkins. This horse is a serious colt. I think it's got a big future. Ran third in the Gold Coast Magic Millions, beaten 2 lengths behind OLA and Memo. Look, the trial win at Rose Hill was very good over young Mr. Gracie Anders colt. Fast set back in third. Deeper back into that, you had Beskar back in fourth. That's a good form line that adds up. Impact Zone in fifth, and a big gap back to Patonga in sixth. If I had to go one angle at the moment, I do favour Gallo Nero over Afterburners and Cool Archie. We'll go a little bit deeper. Talk to Be Sure carries. Talk to Be Sure carries the Cool Archie form line. Was closing off better than it in the Dalrello by Seamus Award out of a Fastnet Rock mare, a good Fastnet Rock mare, Ellen Bari. Draws a 10 alley, gets earmuffs pre-race only first time. Expect a big new peak for Talk to Be Sure. The Creek, 5th top rated, but better than Ready out of a press statement mare. 4th, the Afterburners in the QTIS Duel. Did come out and win a trial at Doom and over 1,000 in prep for this. It's been up for a while now. Yeah, not for mine. Beskar. I'm just going to pull up Beskar quickly, punters. The number 8. Lightly raced by Snitzel out of a new approach mare, Sort of Light. He's going to love the 1,200 metres in testing conditions. Ran third to North of England in the kindergarten on debut. That's a good line back to Gallo Nero. That's what makes me put Gallo Nero on top here. And United States Punters is the other one we'll go and look at. Under the Radar by Snitzel out of an all too hard mare. The bottom half of the pedigree says it will get 1,400. James McDonald up. The reason I say 1,400 is testing ground, all right? Yeah, so first up into this, on debut ran second to Open Secret. Pretty average behind Shaggy in the Piero. We backed Shaggy that day. Comes off a trial win over the Dundee Colt Master of the Air. And back in third was Rose Encanto, the Per Encanto filly, New Zealand bred. Look, could improve. It is a danger, but with the market set, Gallo Nero 5.0 and United States 7.0, I'm going to be backing Gallo Nero in this race, in Doom and Race 5. Gallo Nero 5.0, I think that's a good angle. I think it's minor overs. And I think it's a way that you can play the race with a decent degree of confidence. That's the way I see the Spirit of Boom. Now, let's go to race 6, the Chairman's 2,000 metre Group 3.
Venue, Doombin, race 6, JRA Chairman's Handicap. 2,000 meters, Group 3, soft 7, possible heavy 8-9. The 2025 JRA Chairman...
All right, for the later races on this card, they've been assessed to a soft 7 with a possible downgrade to an 8 or 9. So, yeah, been winning, of course. Had a bit of a terrible day yesterday. Wrapped the gold Porsche around a pole. But, you know, you pay $9.90 for 9 lives. You put your hand up. You get picked up again. You get dusted off. You get back in the Porsche. And you keep driving, you know. The kid next to you smells, but that's all right. His mum's hot. That's why he's there. We're doing a favour for the mother. Keep winning. Let's get into this. Yeah, so the heavy 8-9 could get downgraded later on during the day. Just depends how the weather holds up out the window, to tell you the truth.
His handicap over 2,000 meters shapes as a genuine staying test on a rain-affected Doombin surface. The track is currently rated soft 7, with potential to downgrade to heavy 8 or 9. That change would place even greater emphasis on wet track form and stamina, making it a genuine survival of the fittest at Group 3 level. Sir Dilius GB is the clear standout, an import with a Group 3 win and Group 1 and 2 placings in Europe over 2,400 meters. His credentials are elite. His soft heavy record is outstanding. 6 starts for 3 wins, a second and a third, and the Frankel bloodline screams class. The Waterhouse Bot and Tim Clark combination adds another layer of confidence. While he's yet to race in Australia or at Doombin, his trial work has been strong, and his profile suggests he's ready to win fresh at 2,000 meters.
Doombin race 5 has been added to Live Trader.
He was dominant, winning the ATC Cup over this trip on soft ground, putting 3.24 lengths on his rivals. From barrier 9, he'll go forward and set the tempo. His wet track stats are excellent. 17 starts for 5 wins, 3 seconds, and a third. And he'll relish a deteriorating surface. If left alone in front, he's a serious threat. Kabosh NZ is the local warrior. His Doomben record is strong. 4 starts for 2 wins and a placing, and he's drawn ideally in gate 1. He's fresh off...
Just hold on, to answer that question, Tom, what's the best bet of the day? Mate, go over, twfhorseracing.com, join the lounge, join Best 5. You get all of this in there, plus all the previews for all the races, plus Best 5, plus Live Trader, plus a lot more. If you want to hang out here all day, you're going to get plenty of good tips, plenty of good winners. Last night we were on fire, and we'll do it again today. Rinse, recycle, repeat. Let's continue with this.
A gritty Eagle Farm win and has placed in multiple heavy track efforts. With the Waller-Melham combo in his corner and 2,000-meter fitness under his belt, he's a top 3 contender again. Allegron brings big race experience, including a second in the Calundra Cup over 2,400 meters on heavy. He's been off the boil recently, but gets barrier 3, wet track credentials, 12-1 to 2-1, and distance suitability. If he finds his old rhythm, he can feature in the finish. NATHO Spur NZ is a genuine trier. He won the Beaufort in testing conditions and has a solid Doomben record. He's got the right style for the ground and distance and is consistent enough to grab a placing. Nereus NZ arrives with G3 form from New Zealand and strong wet track stats. The wide barrier and first Australian run are big queries, but if he handles the travel and gets across early, he adds a layer of intrigue. The pace should be moderate, likely dictated by floating or encoder, giving Sir Delius the perfect setup to unleash late. If the track shifts to heavy, wet track depth and recovery will decide the outcome, and that tips the scales even more in favor of the proven mudlarks. Top predicted contenders: Sir Delius, elite European form, perfect wet track record, Frankel Blood, and Waterhouse Bot Clark combo, all class. Floating, front runner coming off a demolition job in the ATC Cup, handles the wet, and could control the tempo. Kabosh, barrier 1, great Doomben stats, and in form. Suited by the ground and distance. Allegron, big race experience, heavy track form, needs to lift but maps well. Nikau Spur NZ, consistent and proven in the conditions, always thereabouts. Nereus NZ, wildcard from NZ with black type credentials, but needs luck from the draw.
All right, Jaden, what you want to do, if you've just joined up, you would have got a message, right, on the back end of that to either WhatsApp me or Clive. Probably best to WhatsApp Clive, 0400 or plus 61400 788 292, all right, plus 61400 788 292. WhatsApp Clive, tell him you've just signed up. He'll get you in the lounge and get you sorted, get you set up for the day, all right? So yeah, the race 6, look, I want to go through the ratings and then we'll talk about the race for a second. Not there's a lot of value to be had here, I don't think, but we will do this because there may be one angle. All right, Sir Delius, top rated 3.30. The Frankel horse, currently being bet at 1.85 unders. Looks like it could be a very good horse, obviously, with its record, but it's unders. That's all there is to it, it's unders. Floating, rated 5.8, being bet at 9.0. Kabosh, rated 7.8. being bet at 5.50. Allegron rated 10.5, being bet at 23.0. Nikau Spur rated 13.0, being bet at 46. And Nereus rated 15.5. Nereus being bet at 23.0. There's a couple of horses I'm going to touch on here. I'm not going to worry about Sir Delius. What I'm going to look at this race from an angle of is the race going to deteriorate? Is the track going to deteriorate? That's hard to tell at the moment. So there's no way I'm going to bet into this race yet, but I'm going to look at this race from an angle of the value angles at the big overs and potentially nibble down the track. All right, Billy, to answer that, you can either stay here all day and follow the lives as we do lives during the day, and you'll get plenty of good winners. If you want it in a more structured format, you get over into the lounge, pay $9.90 a day, you get 9 lives, you get Best 5, you get Live Trader, you get all the previews. There's over 50 pages of previews. Every track covered: Kembla Grange, Scone, Doomben, Morfettville, and Flemington. All right, in detail. Up on this feed at the moment, if you go back down about 20 videos, you've got all the previews for Flemington that you can watch at any time you want yourself. Over on the YouTube channel, there's a replay of the 3.5-hour live that we did last night. It covers all of Scone. There's some great value in the Scone quaddie legs. We'll cover those here as well during the course of the day. Generally, this is how I plan on doing it all day today, right? You get plenty of good content. I update the lounge live. We get through a heap, you know. We win when you win. That's what it's all about. But yeah, let's look into these. Floating was the second top elect at 9.0. There's not much overs to be had there. As I said, I don't think this is a race you want to be betting into yet. Kibosh. Let's just go to Kibosh for a second. No, unders. Allegron rated 10.5 versus a price of 23.0. So we'll just go and touch on Allegron for a second. Yeah, this was originally with Godolphin by Teofilo out of a Medaglia d'Oro mare. Its form's really not a lot to write home about. Yes, it's won once on a soft track. Versus Sir Delius, I'm not prepared to go there, even taking the overs. And Nick Our Spur, 46.0, supposedly big overs versus ratings, but this is why you want me over the top. This is why you want to be in the lounge. 2 from 13 on soft. Most recent, if you go back to the Christmas Cup third at Randwick, behind Cadavar and Alcance, I still don't think that's good enough form to be figuring here. 2 moderate runs this prep behind Swiss Exile and Tenzing. Probably a little bit one pace last time out in the Brisbane handicap at listed level. Closed off well behind Swiss Exile first up. You know, flash good pars, beaten 2.2 from worse than midfield. Still not enough there to be getting overly excited about it. Nereus is an interesting runner. And the reason I say Nereus is an interesting runner across from New Zealand, being bet at 23.0 versus a rated price of 15.5. Maybe Seraphim slightly underestimated that. So we'll go and have a look there. At the 6 by Savabeel out of the Pins mare, Eudora. I'm just going to bring up the bottom half of this pedigree in the stud book and just see what's back through the first and second dam, because this is where you're going to find a lot of the hidden upside in this pedigree. Okay, out of the Pins mare, Eudora, who's produced 2 stakes winners of 6 stakes races, one of them being Nereus, the other one being the dual Group 1 winner, Savvy Coup, right, who won the Livermore, won the New Zealand Oaks. So this is a full brother to the New Zealand Oaks winner, Savvy Coup, okay. Last start second in the Hawke's Bay 2200 metre listed race, splitting Mezzabine and Orlov. Won the Counties Cup Group 3 over 2100, 5 back. Gee, I'm going to say something to you. Blinkers go on again. In with 55.5, pitchforked in. You would have to think, if the real Sir Delius doesn't show up, Nereus is a chance of overturning it. So I'll tell you right now, I'm going to be backing Nereus on an each-way basis for a small nibble at the $23. And then I'm just going to quickly look at Encoder as well, which was big overs. No, Encoder, no, I'm staying away from that. That's unders versus ratings. So, look, if Sir Delius doesn't show up as a 1.85 favourite first up on a rain-affected track, carrying 60 kgs, it looks like, to me, Nereus is the horse most likely to capitalise. So I'm happy to go 1 unit each way on Nereus or a very minor nibble, you know. Just let me take this pun. TWF horse racing.
Oh, g'day, mate. I've just signed up. I'm just trying to access the tips for today. Is there a special way or WhatsApp or something like that?
Yeah, you want to get into WhatsApp, mate. What will happen is now that you've signed up, Clive will message you and get you into the lounge, okay? Over in the lounge is where you want to be. You've got access to all the ratings. You've got access to all the previews. Live traders updated live during the course of the day over there. And Bets 5 gets updated during the course of the day as well, okay?
No problem. So I've got to go through the website. Hey, is that how you do it?
No, if you've already signed up, you'll get a message from Clive. Clive will contact you. The lounge manager will contact you in the next half an hour and get you in and get you set up. Right? Mate, outside of that, if you've got WhatsApp, you can WhatsApp him directly on 61400.
Alright, I'll do it now, yeah. 61400, yeah.
788292.
61400, and what was the last bit, sorry?
788292.
After the double eight, sorry?
292.
292, got it, okay.
No worries, brother. Thank you.
Awesome, mate.
Too easy.
Appreciate it, bye.
See ya. All right, so back to this. Now, yeah, I think the angle to be playing here, punters, like I said, you don't want to go too hard against Sir Delius. It does look a very high-class horse, but on a wet track, first up 60 kg after shipping across from England, if there is any chink in the armour, it's likely to be Nereus that capitalises. Okay, all right. So, yeah, Nereus is the angle I'd play there for a small each way go, 23.0, 4.5. Let's move to the next, race 7 on the card, the Bright Shadow listed. Race 7, Magic Millions Bright Shadow, 1100 metres listed.
Venue, Doomben, race 7, Magic Millions Bright Shadow. 1110 meters, listed, fillies and mares, soft 7, potential heavy 889. The Magic Millions Bright Shadow Stakes delivers a high-pressure listed sprint over 1110 meters at Doomben, with a cracking lineup of wet track specialists, on-pacers, and sharp closers. With the surface currently soft 7 and potentially heading toward heavy or 9, wet track form will be the defining factor. Expect a fast run affair, likely driven by Liquor and Navy on the highway setting a strong tempo. Tiger Shark is the one they'll have to get past. She brings a stellar Doomben record, 4 wins from 7 starts, and is unbeaten in 2 runs at this distance.
Doomben race 6
A
has
last
been
start
added to
Sunshine
Light
Coast
Trader.
win and a second in the listed gold market show she's in top form. Add in a 7-3-1-0 wet track record and you've got a genuine top seed. Barrier 11 isn't ideal, but she has the versatility to slot in behind the speed. Liquor is absolutely flying. Back-to-back wins in the Military Rose and Ipswich Sprints underline her form. She'll be right on the pace from Barrier 9, and Gollan's local knowledge is a major plus. Her Doomben form is solid, and she handles all conditions. If she gets it cheap in front, she's the one they'll all need to run down. In Flight brings a touch of Sydney class and a flawless wet track record. 10 starts for 5 wins and a placing. Her second in the Hawkesbury Rush, listed, last start was full of merit, and she draws perfectly in Barrier 2 with Jason Collett aboard. Max to stalk and pounce. Kin adds another layer of class. A listed winner at Caulfield and placed in the Hawkesbury Rush, she gets James McDonald on from gate 8. She handles soft ground and has enough tactical speed to offset the draw, but she's yet to race at Doomben, and that's the question mark. Midnight in Tokyo has an outstanding Doomben record, 8 starts for 3 wins and 4 placings, and was runner-up in the Nudgy Stakes, listed. The concern is Barrier 14 and a poor recent run on a bottomless surface. She'll need to lift, but the ability is there. Navy on the Highway is the wild card. 3 wins from 4 at Doomben, handles soft and has upside, but she was below her best last start. A sharp improvement here wouldn't surprise. The pace will be on. That sets up beautifully for stalking runners like Tiger Shark and In Flight. But if Liquor controls things early, she could steal it. Barrier draws play a big role, with inside lanes favored late in the day if the ground chops out. Top predicted contenders. Tiger Shark, proven at Doomben, elite 1100 meters record, wet track weapon. Liquor, in peak form, front running style suits the shape, Gollan factor. In Flight, Sydney form, perfect 10-5 to 1-0 on wet ground, draws to pounce. Kin, listed winner, J Mac aboard, needs to handle the Doomben bend. Midnight in Tokyo loves Doomben, capable of sharp improvement despite the gate. Navy on the Highway, soft track performer with a perfect Doomben record when right.
All right, so let's run through the ratings first and market prices, and then we'll talk horses. Top rated, Tiger Shark, 4.70, being bet at 7.5. Second top rated, Liquor, 5.40, being bet at 12.0. Excellent overs. I think the race sets up well for Liquor. Third top rated, In Flight, 6.2, being bet at 3.6 unders. Kin rated 8.0, being bet at 4.4. Got a slight concern on a wet track. I think he's better on top of the ground. Midnight Tokyo rated 10.5, being bet at 13.0. Navy on the Highway rated 13.5, being bet at 4.8. All right, so from an overs perspective, Tiger Shark and Liquor are the two that are overs. Tiger Shark 7.5, Liquor 12.0. They're the first two I'm going to talk about. All right, so let's go to the one, Tiger Shark, by Rich Enough out of an Exceed and Excel mare. Yes, it's a 3 from 7 winner on the soft. Look, Languistine, the Exceed and Excel mare, was smart. 7 from 22 winner now. I worry how much more upside has this horse got left. It got beaten by Golden Boom in the gold market. Went to the Sunshine Coast in a 28k handicap. Only won by 1.3. Lumped half a kilo heavier. You know, surely there is something in this field that is more progressive than listed level, while Tiger Shark looks to have found its level drawn 11. So I'm going to steer past it. The one that I lean towards initially is the Spirit of Boom 5-year-old mare, Liquor. Comes into this as a 9 from 17 winner, 4 from 8 on soft tracks, draws a 9, will go forward, should get the right trip. Good trial leading in behind App and Girl with Bet Your Crown back in third. You go back to the Military Rose win, that was top class, over 1100. The horse is still progressive. I think there's more to come. I think it's the angle at the moment. But at the moment, this is a race where I'm not going to get too heavily involved in, because it's how much the track chops up and what happens with the weather. You know what I mean? So I'd prefer to see him wait and see what the ground does here. We'll just go a little bit deeper. In Flight, by Flying Artie out of a Stravinsky mare, ran second to Dragonstone with Kin back in third in the Hawkesbury in the Hawkesbury Rush. That was at listed level over 1100 on a heavy 8. It's a 5 from 15 winner from the Joseph Pride Yard. It's progressive, but it is unders versus ratings. In Flight, yeah, being bet at 3.6, and Kin being bet at 8.1. Kin being bet at 4.4 is unders as well. That's a premium form line that people are looking at. The Hawkesbury Rush. Midnight in Tokyo, minor overs, rated 11.0, being bet at 13.0. We'll just go there very quickly. The 5, Midnight Tokyo, by Kobayashi, out of a Casino Prince mare, 5 from 24 winner. Not really much upside left, needs to come from the back. The Nudgy listed second behind Bubba's Boy is questionable. How much more scope is there? 5th up this prep, had a lot of chances. So Navy on the Highway is an interesting contender as well, by Merchant Navy out of a Swiss Ace mare. Has won on a heavy track, 0 from 2 on soft. It's 4 from 8 in its short career. It was only beaten 3 lengths by Belclair in the Hot Danish at Group 2 level over 1400. This is going to be, if it does cut up this track, this is going to become more like a 12 or 1300 metre stamina test. That will bring Navy on the Highway into the race. It's 3 from 4 on the track. Currently, it's 4.80 as well. It's under. So there's a lot of question marks here. If I was inclined to play the race one way, it would be Liquor, but there's a lot of queries. I'm going to move past it. It's not really a betting option for me so far. The only 2 bets that I'd be prepared to have off this card so far, Gallo Nero at 5.0 in race 5, Nereus at 23.0. If the Frankel horse from the Waterhouse Botyard doesn't show up. Let's go to the next. Race 8, the Dooman 10,000. Don't want to spend too much time here. You all know what you want to back, but, you know, we'll listen to the preview anyway. Gives me a chance to have a 2-minute break.
Venue, Doomben, race 8, Ladbrokes Doomben 10,000. 1,200 meters, Group 1, WFA, soft 7, possible heavy 8-9. The 2025 Doomben 10,000 is an electric edition of this iconic Group 1 sprint, a battle of elite speed, tactical pressure, and weather-influenced variables. With the track sitting on a soft 7 and potential downgrade to heavy 8 or 9, wet track credentials are non-negotiable. A fast early tempo is guaranteed, with Overpass, Schwartz, Rothfire, and Hidden Wealth all likely to push forward, setting it up for closers if the tempo goes nuclear. Overpass is the benchmark. The Winterbottom Stakes winner and runner-up in the TJ Smith brings genuine elite form into this race. He's dominant at 1,200 meters, 19 starts for 8 wins and 3 placings, and boasts a near-flawless soft track record, 7 starts for 5 wins and a second. From barrier 10, Josh Parr will push forward and aim to control. If he handles a potential heavy downgrade, he'll take running down. Schwartz is the rising star. His William Wright Stakes win on soft ground stamped his Group 1 credentials. His 1,200 meter record, 4 wins from 8 starts, and soft form suggest he's right in this. From barrier 11, Craig Williams will need to offset early pressure, but third up and peaking, he looms large. Sunshine in Paris is the closer that could blow it wide open. A VRC champion sprint, G1 winner, rated 116, she gets blinkers first time and the services of James McDonald. Barrier 14 is sticky, but in a high-pressure race with a fast tempo, she'll be winding up late and hard. Her wet track stats are solid, and the setup is ideal for a swooper. Jedi Beal flies under the radar. A winner of the Group 2 Challenge Stakes, he's drawn perfectly in Gate 3, maps to stalk the speed, and is in career best form. Handles soft and heavy, and brings the type of racing style that suits Doumbin's camber and tempo pattern. Mazu is the proven slop specialist. 5 wins from 8 heavy track starts. He arrives off a Group 3 Hallmark win and brings proven Group 1 credentials. The knock is barrier 13, and whether he's still got the brilliance to match these in a pressure-packed feature. Libertad is the progressive 4YO. A Victory Stakes win last start showed his Group 1 ceiling is rising. He has upside, but Gate 12 will require a clever steer, and this is a different beast to what he faced last start. This edition hinges on pace intensity and track deterioration. If Overpass gets across cleanly and rates well, he'll be hard to run down. If the tempo boils over, Sunshine in Paris and Jet Ideal look ready to pounce. Wet track history gives horses like Mazu and Schwartz their edge, while barrier draws could make or break several high-profile runners. Top predicted contenders: Overpass, G1 Winterbottom winner, elite 1,200 meter stats, 5 from 7 on soft, barrier 10 suits his forward style. Schwartz, William Reed G1 winner, 1,200 meter specialist, thriving on soft, ready to peak third up. Sunshine in Paris, G1 sprint winner, blinkers on, McDonald aboard, suited by fast tempo and track conditions. Jedi Beal, in career best form, perfect map from Gate 3, handles all ground, peaking at the right time. Mazu, wet track warrior, recent G3 win, barrier 13 the big question. Libertad, G2 Victory Stakes winner, progressive, but needs luck from wide alley.
All right, let's run through the market. Okay, as Seraphim's got the ratings, Overpass rated 3.3 versus a price of 6.0. I think she's overplayed that. The 2 Schwartz rated 5.8 versus a price of 8.0. The 12 Sunshine in Paris rated 7.2 versus a price of 4.0 favourite. The 10 Jetabil rated 10.5 versus a price of 10.0. I think that should be shorter in the market. The 3 Mazu rated 13.0 versus a price of 9.0. Libertad rated 15.5 versus a price of 31.0. The angles that I instantly start to consider in this race are, and they're the 3 horses I'm going to talk about to start with. The number 2 Schwartz. Look, got Zeus Star out of it, not a single doubt there. Summer Sham, she was very smart. 6 from 12 winner now. Prep for this with a trial win over Lulumon and Waterford, which was good. Then another one on a heavy track over Gimme the Boys, winning Proposal. This horse still has a lot of upside. It also has an adaptable speed profile. From the 11, I don't think they'll try and lead on it. I think Craig Williams will try and stalk. It's going to be a hot tempo in the front. The bottom half of this pedigree says to me this one will get the trip strongly. I think it needs to be included. I think Overpass is overrated here. So Schwartz is one horse I'm going to consider backing in the race. The next one I'm going to talk about is the 10 Jetabil. Okay, the 10 Jetabil by Saberbill out of the O'Reilly mare Starry. 8 from 21 winner. Keeps on showing up. Nearly ran down Libertad. We were on Libertad in the lounge at 100 to 1 that day. Right, nearly ran down Libertad. We actually backed both of them, or we had both of them in the preview. Right, Libertad 100 to 1 that day. Jetabil it's the one out of that race that's more likely to benefit from that race more. It's a complete forgive behind Briasa in the TJ Smith, complete forgive behind Private Harry in the Galaxy. The Group 2 winning the challenge, the start prior when it ran away from Komochi and IME was very good. This has got to become a bit of a stamina test. The pedigree says that to me. Jetabil needs to be on the radar. 10.0 is an acceptable price. Libertad, 31.0. Look, you have to think, with Libertad by Russian Revolution out of a charge forward mare, hasn't won on a soft track, but it's won from one on the heavy. And the way it held sway over Jetabil, margin to Golden Mile back in third in the Victory Stakes. It's a proven form line. Third to Jolie Star back in the Arrowfield Group 2. I think this horse still has more to come. It's only 4 from 11. There's still minor upside in it. So from my perspective at the moment, I prefer to be back in Schwartz, 8.0, Jetabil, 10.0, Libertad, 34.0. That gives you the three of them to 12, 22, 25% of the market combined 4.0. That's the way I'm looking at the race initially, but I do want to see what happens with the weather over the next couple of hours. I'll go back and look at that later on. I'll get this going next, JD. One more race to go at Doomben. We'll look at race 9 quickly. Race 9, the Group 3 Rough Habit Plate.
Venue, Doomben, Race 9, HKJC Whirlpool Rough Habit Plate. 2,000 meters, Group 3, 3YO, Soft 7, possible heavy 8-9. The Rough Habit Plate closes the Doomben card with a classic Queensland Derby lead-up, and this year's edition is loaded with form depth, staying talent, and some genuine mudlarks. A soft 7 surface, potentially worsening to heavy, means adaptability is vital. With the Braille and the True, the track should race fairly, but positioning will be everything given the moderate tempo expected, likely set by Shangri-La Spring and King of Thunder. Firm Agreement is the standout on exposed form. He's run second in both the Group 3 Packer Plate and the Group 1 ATC Derby, proving he handles strong tempo, pressure, and distance. His 2,000 meter record, 3:021, is rock solid, and he's 2:0110 on soft with a placing on heavy. Barrier 7 gives Tyler Schiller options to stalk the speed and use his
Get me soon, Mitch.
If he holds form, he's clearly the one to beat. Shangri-La Spring brings tactical speed and the scalps to match. He held off Firm Agreement to win the Packer Plate last start, and his soft and heavy track form is sharp. From Barrier 11, Tim Clark will look to cross and control. If the track downgrades and he finds the front uncontested, he'll take plenty of catching. Belle de Tay is the danger from the clouds. A winner of the Adrian Knox, Group 3, 2,000 meters, she's proven in the wet and maps midfield with James McDonald aboard. Barrier 9 is no issue for J-Mac, and blinkers going back on could sharpen her late. Her ability to handle 2,000 meters in tough conditions is a key weapon. King of Thunder is the honest yardstick. Third in the Tulloch Stakes at Group 2 level, and with a sound wet track record, he's the type who won't run a bad race. From Barrier 4, he'll be handy without needing to lead and can stick on for a placing. Beau Dazzler comes off a win in the Grand Prix, Group 3, 2,200 meters, and that staying profile will come into play if this turns into a slog. He handles the wet and is tough, but he might find a couple of these too sharp at 2,000 meters. Real Class is your wide draw wildcard. Winner of the Patrick Hogan G2 in New Zealand, she's suited to 2,000 meters and handles affected ground. Barrier 13 is a negative, but she brings black-type depth and could surprise if she gets across early. The map suggests Shangri-La Spring and King of Thunder control early. If they get away with it, they'll be hard to run down, but Firm Agreement and Belle de Tay bring the class and the closer's edge. Expect a tactical race where stamina and wet track strength separate the contenders late. Top predicted contenders, Firm Agreement, G1 and G3 runner-up, proven at 2,000 meters, handles all conditions, maps beautifully to pounce. Shangri-La Spring, Packer Plate winner, strong tempo control, wet track proven, will take catching. Belle de Tay, G3 Adrian Knox winner, blinkers back on, J-Mac aboard, set to storm home. King of Thunder, tough and reliable, Tulloch G2 third, drawn to be in the mix. Beau Dazzler, Grand Prix winner likes it wet, will keep coming late. Real class. NZ Group 2 winner, conditions suit, wide draw the only knock. 100% framed market, Doombin race 9. 1. Firm agreement, 331. 2. Shangri-La Spring, 5 out of 30. 14. Belle de Tel, 7.28 cents. 3. King of Thunder.
All right, let's run through the market. Top rated firm agreement 3.30 versus price of 4.6. These are Seraphine's ratings. Remember, I come over the top of them. Second top rated Shangri-La Spring 5.20 versus price of 5.5. Belle de Tel 7.2 rated versus price of 4.8. King of Thunder 10.5 rated versus price of 6.0. 4. Beau Dazzler 13.0 rated versus price of 12.0. 13. Real Class 19.5 rated versus price of 20.0. I think that should be shorter. I think there's hidden merit in that profile. The 5. Imperialist 25 to 1 rated versus price of 46.0. Others longer. One other that I am going to mention that's right down in the ratings and that's been missed by the Sentient Robot is the number 10 Croupier by Ace High out of the Ifraj Mad Lady Zafira. It's going to go into the pedigree of this one quickly. It's currently being bet at $31, this horse. I'm just going to go into the pedigree of this one quickly because it's important, right? Stay with me, punters. This is how you got your 50 to 1 winner last night, right? Pedigrees is so important because it's something that not a lot of punters understand, and you find a lot of hidden merit in pedigrees. Horses that can improve quickly for one reason or another due to what their family's done, all right? All right, the first dam, the Ifraj Mad Lady Zafira. She was a stakes winner herself. She won the Pegasus over 1,000, injecting speed, all right? The second dam, Mary Robinson, Lord Ballina, by Lord Ballina. Okay, noted wet track sire, very important. You get back to the third dam, Centerpiece. I'll just go here for a second. You get back to the third dam, Centerpiece, the dam of 2 stakes winners of 2 stakes races, the Centane mare. Exonite, Group 3 Queen's Cup winner. Vitronite, the JRA plate winner. That's where the stoutness comes into this pedigree. And the fourth dam is by, just let me go back to the fourth dam, is by Oncidium, another noted wet track sire. So this is a pedigree with a lot of hidden merit in it. This horse comes off a Trentham maiden win on a soft 5 over 1,400, then went to a rating 65, knocked off Cyber Patch and Buster Shaw. The form out of those 2 races is decent. First start over here, Eagle Farm, 4th of 13 to Piraeus. Now out to this trip. It's obvious that the Derby's the aim. Out to this trip now off the back of that run at Eagle Farm last time out off a 2-week break. 2,000 metres suits better. Draws 8, is going to get a dream trip. Could look like the winner at some stage in deep stretch. I really like the form around Belle de Tel. I think the horse has big ability. I like that it's Adrian Knox win. You go to the top rated contender, firm agreement. You know, you need to sit there and ask yourself how much more upside has the horse got. Yes, it won the Frank Packer last time out. Second to Aliana in the Derby. It was beaten 5.1. It was a space job. I just wonder, you know, even though Seraphine's got it rated 3.3, how much more do we want to take out of it? Tried at 2,000 last time out. Is this an afterthought a month later, you know? Obviously, the Derby and the Frank Packer plate were major considerations. I just wonder if this is an afterthought, this race for it. So the way I really want to look at this race is the 13 Real Class and the 10 Croupier at the moment from a value perspective. But once again, I'm going to wait until later on in the day and see how this race cuts, see how this track plays, because it could create some real value. The 13, I'll just touch on it for a second. Once again, Waller trained. It's 2 from 6 winner by Badamos out of a Magic Ring mare, Mill Ducky. I'm just going to go into its pedigree quickly. You know, Chris Waller never goes anywhere without a reason, right? And how often do you see second elect win a race 20 to 1 when the top elect's been overbet? By Badamos, the son of Monson, will get the trip, no issue there. The Dan Mill Ducky, the Magic Ring Mare, she was a stakes winner herself. She won the Sunline Bars over 2100 at listed level in New Zealand, and she's also produced one stakes winner so far, which is Real Class, who won the Sir Patrick Hogan at Group 2 level. All right, you go back to the second dam. Just let me go to the second dam quickly. The Masterclass mare, Vintage Class. All right, she's a dam of one stakes winner, obviously the dam of this one. And you go back to the third dam, the Sir Vigilant mare, Sherry. No black type there. Okay, all right. So the other thing to note is once you get back to the fifth dam, Ramsey, once again by Oncidium, another noted wet track sire. The fourth dam, Feline, she's a stakes winner of one stakes winner of two stakes races. Notably, Steineck won the Wellington Stakes, Group 3 level. So there's plenty of stoutness bred into this pedigree. The Sir Patrick Hogan win was good over 2,000. That was on a good track. Won the 8 carat prior to that on a soft 5 over Hidabel and Sethino. You know, given a soft jump out, a soft trial leading into this. Ran 6 of 9 in the binary. Then given a soft jump out, 5th of 10 behind Left Field and Golden Mile. You can be rock solid sure that this horse will be ready. So I think the 13 Real Class is a value angle in the race. And the other Kiwi, Croupier, you know, he's been around racing for a long time. How many times have you seen a New Zealand bred come over and take out the rough habit on the way to running big in a derby? Plenty of times, right? It's something I say, racing has patterns. You know, when you find patterns at 20 to 1, they're worthwhile considering. Yeah, I do agree with you, youngster. What do you think of the first here? It's going about to run. I think if the first is about to run and you're in the lounge, you've got previews for all the Scone races. We covered Scone in depth last night if you were in the live. And there's a 3.5 hour replay up on YouTube that you can go and watch if you really want that race. But I'm not too interested in it, to tell you the truth, at the moment. I'm not being rude, but I'm not going to jump around between races to back something 5 minutes out from a race. It's not what the lounge members expect, and it's not what I'm here to do. So they're two horses that are going to go on the radar for race 9, Real Class and Croupier. Let's now move to the next venue. I'm just going to have a look at the time order here. Yeah, so the two bets I pulled off this card so far are Gallo Nero in race 5 at 5.0 and Nereus in race 6. And Nereus is only a minor nibble playing along the lines of the Frankel horse Sir Delius being first start in Australia, potentially in testing conditions over 2,000. If it blows up in deep stretch, it's most likely it's going to be Nereus that capitalises at 20 to 1. I think it's a good each way angle. So that is the second half of the Dooming card worried about. Next, what we're going to do, punters, is we'll go to Morphettville. The reason I'm going to go to Morphettville is, we'll go to Scone. We'll go to Scone next, all right? We did Scone last night. I'm only going to flick through this card quickly. I think there's some great value in the second half of the Scone card. But we'll go from, what race number will we start from here? York. Bear with me, punters. You know, when you prep this much content. All right, we'll kick in from race 5 at Scone. This is where we start, the benchmark 78.
Venue, Scone, race 5. Muswellbrook Ford benchmark 78 handicap, 1,700 meters. Scone's race 5. A benchmark 78 handicap over 1,700 meters on a soft 7 track, shapes as a highly competitive affair with a mix of informed gallopers and wet track specialists. The rail is out 2 meters from the 800 to the 400 and true the remainder. Combined with the soft 7 rating, that setup will favor horses with strong finishing bursts and...
These previews were done last night for Scone, or yesterday for Scone, so some may have come out as scratchings. That's a good reason why we go through them now, okay? Just get these little tests by TikTok, you know.
Proven form on rain-affected ground. The pace is expected to be moderate, driven by Prometto, our Empress Zoe, and High Dandy, setting up an ideal scenario for midfield runners and closers like Miracle Spin, Quantum Cat, and Good Banter. Miracle Spin number 2 stands out as a leading contender. He boasts a win at this track over the trip and a strong third in a benchmark 94 at Randwick over 1,800 meters on a soft 6. His closing speed and wet track record, 0 wins but 3 seconds and 3/3 from 6 starts on soft, make him perfectly suited, though Barrier 12 requires luck in running. Good Banter number 14 is another major player with a 4th placing in a strong Randwick BM78 and a proven heavy track record, 2 wins and a placing from just 2 starts. Barrier 4 and Karen McAvoy's expertise enhance her chances. Quantum Cat number 5 brings strong wet track form, including a near miss at Hawkesbury over 1,800 on a heavy 8, but Barrier 16 is a serious challenge and will need a good ride. Creator number 11 draws Barrier 1 and brings solid benchmark 78 form, including a second at Rosehill over 2,400. He's effective on soft and gets the right run. Our Empress Zoe, number 15, is in career best form with a recent Canterbury win. Her front-running style suits the soft 7 conditions, and she can take catching if left alone. Gentileschi, number 19 and First Emergency, is a scone specialist, 2 starts for 2 wins here, and can't be ignored despite drawing 10. At 4 years old with upside, she's a knockout hope if she gains a start. The race hinges on pace and barrier draws. Inside gates favor Curator and Good Banter, while closers like Miracle Spin and Quantum Cat will need clear air. Expect a tight finish with wet track form and tactical positioning proving decisive. Top predicted contenders: Miracle Spin 2, strong BM94 form, scone win, and wet track prowess. Barrier 12 a concern, but has the class. Good Banter 14, excellent wet track record, strong recent form, and ideal draw. McAvoy a bonus. Quantum Cat 5, near miss at Hawkesbury, loves soft ground, but wide barrier a hurdle. Coretta 11, Barrier 1 solid BM78 form, and soft track suitability make him a big chance. Our Empress Zoe 15, in-form front-running style and wet track ability, can lead and hold on. Gentileschi 19E, scone specialist, lightweight, and wet track form. Upside at 4 years old.
Yeah, look, these ratings were done for a soft 7. It's now up to a soft 5 at scone. Soft 6, sorry, what am I saying? Up to a soft 6, and the weather's all right. So, a slight change in the conditions. I'm going to look through this race from a ratings perspective, and then I may have her redo the rest of the card, and we may flick to another venue, because I'm not going to lead you into. This is what I hate about days that are wet when tracks are changing conditions. We'll just take a quick look through the ratings of race 5, and then we may switch to another venue, because I'm not going to spend too much time here when they can be redone with the change in track conditions. Top rated Miracle Spin 5.8, being bet at 6.5. Good Banter, second top rated 6.5. Quantum Cat's come out. We had it rated 8.0. This is important. So that's a 12% deduction off the ratings. And yeah, it's the only one that's come out since then. So now all need to come in by 12%. So Miracle Spin comes from 5.8 into 5.0 top rated versus a price of 6.5. Good Banter comes into 5.6 from 6.5, being bet at 6.0. Quantum Cat is out. Curator was rated 8.8 minus 12, comes into about 7.8. Versus a price of 23.0 from Chris Leishard. Our Empress Zoe, fourth top rated 10.1, 12% out, comes into about 8.8 versus a price of 13.0. Gentileschi rated 14.5 minus 12% into about 12.5 versus a price of 8.0. So from an overs angle, we'll just run through the top 5. The 2 Miracle Spin, they go 1,700. The 2 Miracle Spin by Pivotal out of the Galileo mare, Field of Miracles, gets him with 58.5 after the claim. That lay Vampire form, Zaphod form, that it was third to last time out over 1,800, is a good form reference, has to be respected. Upside questionable, as a 4 from 26 winner. The 14 Good Banter. Yeah, well, geez, that form blew up yesterday, didn't it? Know thyself. How many of you didn't know yourselves and took the 2.2, 2.3 about know thyself yesterday? Yeah, so that form's out the window. Questionable. The 11, the Waller Runner by Ocean Park out of the O'Reilly mare Charmeuse, who was very smart. This is an angle that may have some sort of merit. The second in Mutasalem over 2,400. Yes, I know it was 2,400. Back on the 14th of September was very good. Second up into this, went 15.50 first up on a wet track, on a heavy track that it hasn't won on before, closed off well, decent pass, deep stretch behind No Drama and Naval Commission. It will come on considerably for that. Prior to the start of this prep, split Count Your Blessings and Juvena in a trial at Hawks at Rose Hill over 1,030. That was a good effort. It was only 4 lengths off Elias when it was soft, beaten 4 lengths in its most recent trial. Out to 1,700 now. I think that's an angle that you can play with some degree of confidence. Yeah, Carita really comes onto the map for me. What price is it again? Carita, 23.0, 5.75. That, I'm going to put a little asterisk next to it because I may go there. The 15, Our Empress Zoe, currently 13.0. Let's just go and look at it quickly. My Fastnet Rock out of the Savabeel mare, My Sabille, 5 from 25 winner. 5 from 25 winner. I'm going to take that. Mate, I'm in the middle of a live. I'll call you back, all right? I'll talk to you soon. But Fastnet Rock out of the Savabeel mare. Winner 2 back at Canterbury over 15.50 where it knocked off Satnus and Cormac T. Then went to Warwick Farm, tried to make all, second to Seafall. Cigaria Rock back in third. That's a decent form reference. In with 56.5, drops from 60.5 last time out. Draws a 9, should get a good trip somewhere near the front. Our Empress Zoe was being bet at 13.0. I'm going to put a little asterisk there based on the pace profile. I'll come back to that. And the 19, Gentilishi, unders at the moment at 8.0. But I'm just going to touch on the horse for a second because there's upside here. By done deal out of a Choisir mare, 4 from 12 winner for the Paul Massara yard. Gets in with 54.5 after winning the Tiara at Musselbrook last time out over 14.50 on a heavy track. Lump 60 that day. You compare that to 3 back at Rose Hill over 1,800 also on a heavy track where it had 54.5, half a kilo less, more than what it's got today. You have to worry about its ability to step up to this level. From my thinking initially in this race, I do like Carita at the 25 to 1. I think it's a decent angle. I think it may be worthwhile a little nibble each way. Potentially our Empress Zoe as well in support. But yeah, we'll go deeper into that race. But yeah, I don't mind that as a betting race. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to flick across to... There was a horse in race 2 at Kembla Grange, in race 2 at Scone. And yes, I'm going to flick back to this because it's just above. I'm not going to give you the Seraphim read for this. I'm going to touch on the top-rated contender because it's big overs and just drill down into it a little bit more. And that's Tai Nui. Like, I'm not saying this wins yet, but it was rated very well by Seraphim for this race. Now, made all at Tamworth, it's a top weight, by Stern out of the Galileo mare. This is race 2, number 1. It's currently being bet at 33 minutes to post. It's into 17.0 now. It's by Stern out of Galileo mare. 3 from 6 winner, 3 further seconds. Went to Tamworth last start over 2,100. Made all to knock off our Bambino and Tajawal. The slight concern is it's only been on a wet track once. That was on debut when it ran second. I'm going to pull that run up as well. But the form coming out of that win at Tamworth last start was very good over 2,100. The horse second home, Tajawal, won the prelude the start before. And the third horse home by Frankel, the 5-year-old, 2 from 17 winner. Good form around Campbell-Dino in the Orange Cup. This one dropping back to 1,700 metres now. Back to 1,600. Off the back of making all over 2,100. Drawn the 2 alley. Goes to 61 kg, you know, up in weight. That sort of negates the drop back in trip to a degree. There may be a little nibble each way angle here. Like, it's not the deepest race, is it? When you look down through the field, you know, Fjorson Fred, Feather Top. Geez, it comes off a second to, that Feather Top comes off a second to Antonito in Brisbane. Express Payment. I'm just digging a little bit deeper here. Bear with me, punters. Win the Day. D'Argento, Your Temptation. Verrazano. Yeah, I wouldn't stop you from having 1 unit on that at all. Scone race 2. I talked about it last night. I think it's worth a 1 unit throw at the stumps at 17.0. I think that's overs. I agree with her on the ratings. Scone race 2, number 1, Tainui. Don't go having your house on it, but you see us back plenty of these sorts of prices that win. And when you're backing them at these prices, you don't need every one of them to win. 10, 17, 2 seconds. Scone race 2 has been added to Live Trader, the number 1 Tainui. Yeah, so we'll go there for 1 unit. Not an issue whatsoever. I just want to touch on that race. In race 1, let's go there. Is that race over now? No, still not. Still it's live now, race 1. You did ask about that race earlier on. Let's go across punters. Now, we'll come back to Scone. I'm going to go to Kembla Grange. I'm going to go to Kembla Grange because this is a good card. So let me bring it up. Kembla Grange. Kembla. Scone. Where are we? It's Doomben. Kembla. Where's Kembla? Down here somewhere. Doomben. Kembla Grange. What race are we up to here? We'll pick up the Kembla Grange card. Punters. Race 1, 49 minutes. We'll go here first. All right. It's a 1.65 favourite in this race. So we're going to talk about this race for a second. Kembla Grange, race 1.
Venue, Kembla Grange, race 1, Pacific Plan Management Midway Maiden Plate. 1,600 meters, maiden soft 6, rail plus 9 meetup, 1,100 meters to WP, plus 6 meter, remainder. The opener at Kembla Grange is a 1,600 meter midway maiden plate that brings together a mix of consistent older types and progressive younger gallopers, with the soft 6 conditions and a tactical tempo likely to shape the result. With Contfail scratched, 9 runners remain, and the pace looks moderate on paper, with Think of One likely to dictate or sit outside the lead. Think of One brings the most reliable profile into this. With solid 1,600 meter form, including a narrow second at Wyong and a heavy 10 third placing, he's clearly adaptable to all conditions and has race fitness on his side. While still a maiden after 10 starts, he's been knocking on the door and gets his chance here. Barrier 7 is slightly sticky, but his on-speed pattern suits today's rail setup. Navy Buoy is the logical danger. His 0.52 liter second at Goulburn and 2.15 liter third at Newcastle both came in decent maidens. And he's been holding form across varying distances. Barrier 3 allows him to stalk the lead and pounce late, and the application of visors adds another layer of intent. Handles soft going, placed twice from 2 runs on affected ground, and looks ready to break through. Region is the upside runner. Still early in his prep with just 4 starts, he's placed in his last 2 and gets out to 1,600 meters for the first time, something that should suit given his staying pedigree. Barrier 2 gives him a soft run, and if he's strong through the line, he could surprise. Explicit is the wild card. Only a 2YO, but he has already contested the listed Clarendon Stakes, where he ran a sound 4th, beaten just 1.5 liters on a heavy 8. That form stands up well here, and although 1,600 meters is an unknown, he has class and tactical versatility from Barrier 5. If he sees out the trip, he'll be closing hard. Kickstart, Marabello, and the rest of the field have ground to make up. Kickstart has shown glimpses, but Barrier 9 and the jump to 1600 Ms are concerns. Flying Betty and Prize Gesture will need sharp improvement, while Donington looks outclassed. This race will come down to early control and who sees out the mile best on soft ground. If Think of One gets a soft lead, he'll be hard to run down. But Navy Boy's consistency and explicit touch of class make them clear threats, while Region represents the most likely improver. Top predicted contenders. Think of One, proven at the trip, handles soft, controls the pace.
Yeah, don't agree with that.
Navy Boy, rock solid form, well drawn, handles the sting out. Region, up-and-comer, progressive profile, soft gait helps. Explicit, listed form, closing potential, 1600 meters, the only query.
All right, so I'm going to start off by saying, look, the 10 Explicit is very well bred. It's very progressive. It's a 2-year-old against older horses. It's 1.65 in the market at the moment. There's no way I'm ever going to take 1.65 about a horse. The last start effort in the Clarendon was very good behind Aerodrome. The concern that I have with this horse is it's an 11th of October foal, okay, all right? I'd prefer to see that it was a mid-September foal or earlier at this time of the season, 2-year-olds versus older horses, especially on a heavy track. Especially on a rain-affected track. The two that make appeal to me are Navy Boy and Region. But there's no advantage in the market here with those two. Region by Magna Greasy out of a Dream Ahead mare. The last start third at Wyong on a heavy track was a good effort, despite it was only a 4-horse field, beaten 1.89. The trial win back on the 17th of March over Reducio and Nymphadora was good. Third to Noises before that with Northern Eagle in second. Out to 1600 here. This is the trip it's looking for. Expect a big new peak. And I'm pretty sure that it handles wet going, all right? And the other one, the 4 Navy Boy. The trial win over Bella Ferrari and Samabreve prior to the start of this prep. Good, suggesting potential new peaks. Lightly raced, buys the first time. Winkers come off, goes out to 1600. Decent behind Caledonian and Dundee Flyer in a 42k maiden last time out. Was on pace, battled on strong. Did the same behind Deep Emotion the start prior with Dundee Flyer back in third. Big new peak expected, but they've been bet at 4.4 and 5.0 versus a 1.65 favourite. Like, there's no advantage there. You've got them both at 42% of the market or combined, 2.30, 2.40. I don't see any point trying to take that on. I'm going to go to race 2 here. Kembla race 1. Kembla race 2, punters. Kembla race 2. All right.
Venue, Kembla Grange, race 2, Moretti Constructions, CG&E Maiden Handicap. 1200 meters, Colts, Geldingsen and Tires, Maiden Handicap, soft 6, rail plus 9 Menth, 1100 meter WP, plus 6 meters, remainder. Race 2 at Kembla Grange shapes as a competitive maiden sprint for the boys, featuring a field of 8 after the scratching of Carnegie Hill. With the rail out and a soft 6 surface in play, early tactical speed and favorable draws may prove decisive. Expect a moderate tempo with Lou Grug and Western Lane vying for control, and several sit-sprint types looking to pounce late. Top predicted contenders. The class runner of the field. A sharp second at this track over 1,400 meters last start highlights his readiness. And prior to that, he wasn't disgraced in the Group 3 Canterbury Stakes. He drops in grade and distance here, but maps well from Barrier 5 and has tactical flexibility. Yet to race on a soft surface, but bred to handle it. If he holds his form, this is his race to lose. Homeric, the most seasoned galloper in terms of race experience. He's coming off a pair of sound efforts, 4th at Beaumont and 5th at Canterbury, both over the sprint trip. Draws awkwardly in 9, but has the early speed to offset it. Soft track form is a blank, but he's adaptable and consistent enough to be right in the finish. Western Lane, the improver. First up effort over 900 meters at Newcastle was better than it reads. 4th, beaten 5.35 L on a soft 7. He now jumps to 1,200 meters second up, which is a question, but Barrier 3 and his sprinting profile suggest he'll get every chance to handle it. Looks a genuine each-way prospect in a thin race. Sifonelli. Only one start under the belt. A sixth at Wyong, but the run had merit given he was posted deep and was on debut. Draws barrier 2 today and gets a significant fitness benefit. He's by Castelvecchio, so the 1200 meters looks a logical next step. Big improvement wouldn't surprise. Hetzendorf, an unraced 2YO colt from the James Cummings yard. Trials have been sound, if unspectacular, and he debuts against older horses over 1200 meters on rain-affected going. A tough ask. That said, the Godolphin polish in barrier 7 suggests he's not here for fitness alone. Watch the market closely. Others. Jamarni has placed in weaker company but looks tested from barrier 8 and has struggled to finish off in most runs. Lil Grug and Steel Rain look outclassed on exposed form, both needing a significant turnaround to feature. Race shape, moderate pace, likely leaders, Lil Grug, Western Lane, with Pick Up the Tab, Homeric, and Sifonelli stalking. Rail position and soft six surface should favor those on speed or just behind it. Summary. Pick Up the Tab is the clear standout based on form and figures, dropping from group company into a modest maiden. Homeric is the reliable chaser, while Western Lane and Sifonelli are the key improvers. Hetzendorf is the unknown. Top 4 selection. 1. Pick Up the Tab. 2. Homeric. 3. Sifonelli.
All right. I've got a query here. Pick Up the Tab. Pick Up the Tab rated 3.3 versus price of 2.3 unders in the ratings. Homeric rated 4.1 being bet at 4.0. No advantage. Western Lane rated 5.9 being bet at 11.0. Sifonelli rated 7.7 being bet at 9.5. Hetzendorf rated 14.0. Hetzendorf being bet at 3.8. Jamarni 17.5 being bet at 15.0. The two I'm going to touch on here are Western Lane and Sifonelli initially. They had 1242k maiden. The 4, Western Lane, Gerald Ryan trained. The 4th at Newcastle on debut. You can put a line through it. Was sent around the 3.30 favourite that day, was expected to run bigger. Prior to that, 2 good trial efforts. The latest when it spit El Kwasabi and Indy May. El Kwasabi, the 3-year-old Calix colt, got a bit of an opinion of it. It then went to Rose Hill and ran 3rd to Miss Jones and Mayweather in another trial. Good effort. Back in 3rd behind El Kwasabi and Western Lane was a capitalist filly, Indy May. Not a lot to talk about out of the form of the 3rd home, but it hasn't had that many opportunities. Further back out of that trial, punters. Let's wait for this to come up. You had Photograph back in 4th, the Cummings horse. Limburg in 5th. Then a gap to Malbrook Castle in 6th. Photograph came out and won at Canterbury on 1100 metres on a heavy track first up midweek by 2.9. 5th home, Limburg, the 4-year-old Justify horse. Has ability prior to this. 2nd to Etu Brute when it tried to make all over 1300 at Sandown in a strong 1500 metre maiden. Then ran 2nd to Dragoon over 1600 when it stretched out. The next one home, Malbrook Castle, beaten 6.12. Then went to Warwick Farm. 2nd to Donatavio. Prior to that, form over slightly longer around Energetic Legend in a super maiden at Kembla Grange. That form is starting to look pretty decent as far as I'm concerned. Sifonelli, we'll go to next. Sifonelli. Where's Sifonelli? The number 1 by Castelvecchio out of a Redute's Choice mare, Romantic Affair. First up into this, off the back of a trial 3rd to Indefensible and City Goldfield, which was a good trial. This one being by Castelvecchio from the Gary Portelli yard. Never going to be pushed too much in a trial. Prior to that, ran 3rd of 10 behind winner of Kowloon and Spiv as well. Like, this one's well prepped for a first up effort. The form coming out of its last trial has to be respected. Out to the 1200 here, first up. There was a big gap 3rd to 4th out of that trial. Dream Alive, Pharaoh Queen, Columbia Blue beaten 6.7, 7.3 and 10. Dream Alive, moderate. The 5th home, Pharaoh Queen, was only its 2nd trial. It improved off its 1st trial. And the 6th home, Columbia Blue, by Yes, Yes, Yes. Then won a Warwick Farm trial, went to Kembla Grange, ran 2nd, beaten a length behind Purelite. Let's tie that in against the top 2 rated Pick Up the Tab. The Query, well bred by Savabeel out of a Take Charge Indy mare. 2 decent trials in town. Couldn't get it done at its first prep. Debuted in the Canterbury. They obviously had a bit of an opinion of it. The 3rd of 10 in its last trial behind Etched in Time and Stallone. So let me pull this up for a second. Etched in Time, very moderate form last prep. 2nd home, Stallone, decent form. 3rd home, or 4th home. I'm just going to go a little bit deeper here. I'm looking for reasons to get this rolled. Hold on. 4th home, Maximum Dividend. 5th, Homeric, which is the 2nd favourite here. And then Wire to Wire. All right, Maximum Dividend in 4th. Winner over 1,600 at Wyong. 5th home, Homeric. Well, we've talked about it. I think Homeric was soft in its latest trial too, in this trial. The trial prior to that, where it beat Walk the Pier and Frosty Girl, was a better effort. And Wire to Wire back in 6th. Not a lot to scream about out of that, even though it's a 3-year-old colt by a trapeze artist. That sort of leans me towards Western Lane and Cifanelli from a ratings perspective. Western Lane being bet 11.0 and Cifanelli 9.5. They're the angles I'm going to play. 1 unit on each of them. So that goes up. Kembla Grange race 2, and have 1 unit Cifanelli and 1 unit Western Lane. Cifanelli 9.5, Western Lane 11.0. And move to the next race, race 3. We'll do the first 3 races on the card here. Get them out of the way because it's time prevalent at the moment. And yeah, then we'll move on. We'll rock on to another venue. Race 3.
Venue, Kembla Grange, race 3, Happy 70th Tony Bagnall F&M Maiden Handicap. 1,200 meters, fillies and mares, maiden handicap soft 6, rail plus 9, 1,100 me to WP plus 6 me, remainder. Race 3 at Kembla Grange presents an intriguing 1,200 meter maiden for the fillies and mares, with several progressive types looking to break through. The soft 6 surface and rail position, plus 9 means 6 me, favor runners on pace or with early tactical speed, particularly from low draws. Winner of Kowloon looks well placed to score her maiden victory. She debuted with a solid 3rd at Canterbury in a deep maiden over 1,100 meters, then wasn't disgraced at Warwick Farm in a Super 3YO event over 1,300 meters. From Barrier 3, she maps ideally to lead or box seat, and with experience on rain-affected going, she profiles as the one they'll all need to run down. The Bjorn Baker stable is in form, and she strips fitter 3rd up. Cuban Rain brings the strongest
Kembla
single
Grange
performance
race
on
2
paper.
has been added to light
Her
track.
runner-up finish here over 1,400 meter, 2 starts back, was excellent. She's failed to fire since at Kensington, but that run was in a tougher field, and the return to Kembla, along with a drop back to 1,200 meters and Barrier 2, could reignite her. She's versatile enough to settle handy if they don't go fast. Cuesta is the New Zealand import with a touch of mystery. Her 3rd placing at Rotorua was sound, but she weakened at Newcastle 2nd up on heavy 10. She gets to a soft 6 now, which may suit better, but Barrier 9 will require some initiative. She's 3rd up and should be ready to show more. Quill Ambition, another Maher-trained runner, made late ground on debut over 1,100 meters at Gosford. She was beaten just 2.6 eelers after drawing wide and settling back. Barrier 4 and the rise to 1,200 meters are positives, and she gets a soft surface again. Expect improvement. Zucat was strong late on debut when 4th at Newcastle over 900 meters. The step up and trip is ideal, and although drawn Barrier 10, her get back and run on pattern might be less hindered if the pace is solid. Her trial work has been professional, and she's in the right yard to progress quickly. Miles of Glory debuts off 2 quiet trials and is bred to be handy, but may need the outing. Watch the market. Top predicted contenders. Winner of Kowloon, strong form through Canterbury and Warwick Farm, maps perfectly, peak fitness 3rd up. Cuban Rain, Kembla Grange 2nd 2 back, good gait, can settle closer and bounce back. Cuesta, NZ form credible, fitter third up, but wide draw and heavy flop linger. Quill Ambition, eye-catching debut, better draw today, looks to improve sharply over 1,200 meters. Zowcat, showed talent over 900 meters, now up to a more suitable trip, each-way chance. Miles of Glory, strongly bred debutant, may need the experience but not ruled out. Race shape, moderate tempo. On-speed bias likely early with inside runners like Winner of Kowloon and Cuban Rain to control. Closers like Zowcat and Quill Ambition need genuine tempo.
All right, Winner of Kowloon, rated 3.1, being bet odds on 1.85. Straight away, that makes me want to look for something to get it rolled when it dominates 55% of the market. Cuban Rain, second top rated 4.3, being bet at 6.5. Got a query there. Cuesta, third top rated 7.4 versus a price of 8.5. I'm going to make it shorter. Quill Ambition, rated 9.8 versus a price of 23.0. We'll touch on that horse for a second. And Zowcat, fifth top rated 12.5, now out, which shortens everything else by 8%. Miles of Glory, 14.8, 8% into 13.8. Miles of Glory, where's it? 4.60 under. So the two I'm going to look at here quickly are Cuesta and Quill Ambition, right? And I'll tell you why. Winner of Kowloon, yes, smart, looks smart. It's had 2 chances now. Is it just a trial star? Earmuffs pre-race only go on first time. Is that a clutch at straws? Third to Silver Wedding on debut. Fifth to Hopper in a Super Maiden. Here's the thing, right? We'll go to Cuban Rain quickly, so I can tell you why we're avoiding it. Cuban Rain by Manhattan Rain out of Elena's mare. Won from 6th place for the Robert and Luke Price Yard. Had a few chances. I'm going to go to Cuesta, the third top rated, which I think should be shorter, by El Rocker out of the New Zealand bred Bachelor Duke mare Maynoa. I'm just going to pull up the pedigree of this one quickly. Cuesta. Okay, Cuesta. The dam, the Bachelor of Duke mare Maynoa. And we also need the second dam Athena and the third dam Triview. Okay, the first dam, nothing of note. The second dam, Athena, the dam of 2 stakes winners of 3 stakes races, a Desert Sun mare, including Justin Mays, the Group 2 County Cup winner, Waikato Gold Cup winner at Group 3 level, and also Zabisco, which won the Eclipse at Group 3 level. And the first dam is a half to 2 stakes winners. And the third dam, Triview, nothing of note there, but by 3 legs, with it being out of a Habitat mare as well. So plenty to suggest that Cuesta has the ability to handle a wet track. Now I'm going to go to the form profile of this one. The third at Rotorua on debut, over 1,215, was a good effort before it shipped across to Australia. Out of that latest trial at Randwick prior to its Australian debut, where it was in the market, it's worth noting that Australian debut at Newcastle over 1,250, where it was 5th Illuminator. It was beaten 7.1 lengths. It was midfield. It was 1 pace. It was 5 into 4.6 out to 5.5. Now the trial third prior to that at Randwick behind Hopper and Twinkling Star, only beaten 1.6. The winner by Schnitzel, Hopper, then went to that Super Maiden, knocked off Gun Room and Invisible Magic. That's a line directly back to the favourite here, Winner of Kowloon, who finished 5th in that Super Maiden, beaten 1.93. That puts Cuesta on a par. Olivia Chambers claims to, gets him with 56.5, advantage Cuesta. The second home out of that trial, Twinkling Star by Zusar out of Look for Stars. Hasn't done anything since, but had good maiden form prior. It's only started once since on a heavy track at Wyong when it was beaten 8 lengths as a 1.65 favourite. Put a line through the run. Further back, 4th home, 5th home and 6th home we'll also look at, because they'll beaten 1.8, 1.82 and 2 lengths. No point going further back, they'll beaten 7 lengths, right? 4th home, the Rainbow Goddess, the 4-year-old Exceeding Excel mare. Won a trial over Italian Diva prior to that, then came out and ran second in Ningaloo Reef, who's a smart type in the Super Maiden at Hawkesbury. The 5th home, Wild Annie, the Zusane 3-year-old filly. Then ran third to Snipers, beaten a length in another good trial at Randwick. And 6th home, Miss Bugatti, the 3-year-old grunt filly. 4th, to True More Prior, only started once since, on debut, 21 into 16, beaten 8.4 lengths, 10th of 11. Settled 9th, never got into the race. There's reason there to be backing Cuesta at 8.5 versus 1.85 favourite, purely on the gunroom form reference, right? When you're at those odds, you don't need to be right every time. It's about having an advantage, okay? And I think at the 8.5, that's an advantage. Also worth noting, from the Bjorn Baker yard, same yard as the favourite. He puts Olivia Chambers on to claim 2. Right? He's not doing that without reason. Quill Ambition, the other one worth looking at, by Written Tycoon out of a Schnitzel mare, Set Goals. Let's go just look at the pedigree of this one quickly. What's it called again? Quill Ambition. Being out of a Schnitzel mare, I just want to dig a bit deeper into the bottom half of this pedigree, being so lightly raced. All right, by Written Tycoon out of the Schnitzel mare, Set Goals, the 2nd dam by Hassanay. The 3rd dam is none other than Monsoon Wedding, punters. All right, let's go back to the 3rd dam firstly. Monsoon Wedding, full sister to who? Reduced Choice. The dam are 2 stakes winners of 4 stakes races. Notably, Precious Lorraine, the Fillies Classic winner in South Australia. Lucky Raki, the Black Opal winner. The 2nd dam of this one, Your Lifestyle by Hassanay, out of the Danehill mare, Monsoon Wedding. We know that Hassanay nicks well to this family. I think back through Shanta's Choice, the dam of Reduced Choice may have went to Hassanay once from memory. Just checking that. Yes, got the Broken Shore. Okay, 2nd time, got the Broken Shore. That's why they've nicked this one. That's why they've nicked this pedigree. The Broken Shore is also, wait for the pedigree to come up, the dam of 2 stakes winners of 7 stakes races. It's one of the hottest families in the stud book, including the dual Group 1 winner, Scholes, who won the Maya Classic, the Robert Sangster, and also Groundswell. Triple Group 1 winner, Scholes, sorry, she also won the Surround. So this is a pedigree that has a lot of upside. So after you've got the Hassanay mare, got your Lifestyle out of Monsoon Wedding as 2nd dam of this one, she was then sent to Schnitzel, who's a son of Reduced Choice, trying to replicate that proven nick as well. They got Set Goals, the dam of this one. She was 4 times raced, only raced 4 times, right? Take no notice of a race career. You know she's got the pedigree. Now sent to Written Tycoon to get Quill Ambition. So you got one of the hottest sides in the country over one of the best families in the country. Now let's talk form. Went to Kembla for its first trial. Soft 3rd to Egyptian Reward and Donwan, right? Then to Gosford for its debut. Kieran Martrain's got a fair idea what he's doing. Out of that trial, the winner of that trial was by Our Royal Egyptian. Our Royal Egyptian is by Fastnet Rock out of Our Egyptian Reign from memory. Doesn't get many chances, but can get a decent horse. The 2nd horse out of it, Donwan, by Magna Grecia out of the mare Minnesota. Good form, place 4 of 8. Quill Ambition in 3rd. I'll just go back to 4th and 5th quickly. It's worth doing, punters. I think we have an angle here that we're going to be able to play by backing these 2. 4th home, Preordained. 5th home, Shiroa. 6th home, Zima. Beaten 1.9, 2.3 and 2.5. Quill Ambition beaten 0.6. 4th home, the Maurice 4-year-old, Preordained. Went to Nowra, went to the Sapphire Coast. 2nd at Canberra prior. 5th home, the Shalar 3-year-old filly, Shiroa. Prior to that, 5th of 9 in another trial behind Touchicism. Went to Maruya first up in a 16k maiden as a 4.6 chance. 6.0 into 4.6. Ran too bad to believe, 6 of 6. Decent trial form at Newcastle and on the Beaumont track prior to that. Zima, the 4-year-old Piero mare. Beaten 6th. Not a lot to talk about outside of one other trial effort. This horse may be a trial star only when it was 4th of 10 prior to the start of the last prep behind Epic Statement in Brazil. That stacks up for me. It's hidden. Then went to Nowra 2nd up over 1400. Only beaten 1.7 by Cashburn. Now, if we take the opinion that this Kieran Maher horse failed on debut, right, for a reason when it was beaten 7.4. Now goes to 1,200 metres from 1,100. Stretches out slightly in trip. Louise Day gets on. She rode it when it was 3rd of 8 in that trial. John Van Overmeer was on when it was on debut. Second up, likely improver. There's enough on the bottom half of the pedigree, being by a great sire in Written Tycoon out of one of the best families, to suggest that this 3-year-old filly is going to improve at its second career start, naturally. If that's the case, 23.0, 4.75. It's worth a throw at the stumps. I'm backing 2 in the race. Q Esther, 8.5. And Quill Ambition, 23.0. That race is going to go up on Live Trader next. Now let's go to... Let me just pull up the order here, punters. Let's keep going. I'm just going to pull up the order. Next to jump. We'll go to Flemington. We'll go to Flemington race 2. I'm going to pull that up here. Just let me say this. Just hold on. Kembla Grange race 3 will be going up on Live Trader in about 2 minutes. All right, let's go to Flemington.
NATHO Live.
Be quiet.
Very soon, kicking.
Home. Flemington race 2.
Let's do it again. Flemington, race 2, Saturday.
Race preview, Flemington, race 2, Trevor Clark handicap, 1,400 meters, 2YO. Race 2 at Flemington is the Trevor Clark handicap, a 2YO set weights contest over 1,400 meters. And it shapes as a fascinating early season clash between lightly raced winners, emerging talents, and a couple of unknowns. The track is rated good 4, the rail is out 4 meters, and conditions should ensure a fair racing surface across all lanes. The pace looks moderate, with Warrior Smile likely to lead from barrier 8, and Gable or Highball potentially pushing up to sit handy. The top seed here is Highball. A debut winner of the Anzac Day Stakes at listed level, over this very tripping track, he showed early speed, resilience, and the ability to fight off pressure, all key assets for a young horse. With natural improvement second up, he's the horse to beat. The Opportunist is the danger. He was dominant winning at Warrnambool, clocking strong late splits and showing a professional attitude. He draws beautifully in barrier 3 and looks to be improving sharply with each run. Expect him to track the speed and be right in the finish. Warrior Smile brings depth, having already won at Sandown, then contested the Anzac Day Stakes. He gets blinkers on for the first time, which could be the key to sharpening him up. From barrier 8, he can roll forward and try to control proceedings. Maldini, who beat the Opportunist in a Pake and a Maiden, is a strong inclusion despite the all-wide draw in barrier 12. He wasn't disgraced in the Anzac Day Stakes and looks suited up to 1,400 meters again, just needs luck early to get across. Gable, a Geelong Maiden winner, has shown good ability and draws ideally. He'll need to find a new level to beat this field, but the step up in distance looks a positive. Dancing on My Own also comes out of the Anzac Day Stakes, where she ran 4th. Still on the improve and drawn reasonably well, she's another likely to be hitting the line. Among the debutants, Hot Sand and Thunderbolt Way bring strong jump-out form. But this is a hot race to be stepping out in. They may be better suited as watch-and-learn types today, though market support could tell a story. The race shape favors tactical types or those drawn to get cover and pounce. Expect Highball to take running down, with the Opportunist, Warrior Smile, and Maldini chasing hard. A tight finish looms in what could prove to be a strong form race moving forward. Top predicted contenders: Highball, debut win in the Anzac Day Stakes at this track and trip, strong tactical speed and big upside second up. The Opportunist, dominant win at Warrnambool, great barrier, improving with each run. Warrior Smile, Sandown winner, blinkers on, front runner who can take catching if left alone. Maldini beat the Opportunist in a maiden, wide draw is a hurdle but genuine ability. Gable, solid maiden win at Geelong, draws well and has scope to improve again. Dancing on My Own, 4th in the Anzac Day Stakes, holds her form.
That's it. Let's Flemington, race 2.
All right, race 2. I'm going to rip through this quick. All right, the ratings for Flemington Race 2 punters. All right, so pull this over here for a second. Yeah, Kembla Race 3. I just want to say this. All right, Kembla Race 3 has been added to Live Trader. I'll give you an initial update on Best 5 in about 10 minutes, punters, all right? I just want to get this second race out of the road at Flemington, and then we'll start having a look there, all right? All right, so the way the market sets here, High Vol Top, it's come out. Kalius has come out. It's a 5% deduction, and Druntham Lass, it's a 1%, 6% out of the market. Okay, all right. High Vol. 3.5, rated 3.5, being bet at 2.60. The Opportunist, rated 6.2, being bet at 4.4. The 2 Warriors Smile, rated 7.0, being bet at 7.5. The 5 Maldini, rated 8.2, being bet at 7.5. And the 4 Gable, rated 10.5, being bet at 20.0. The only, and I'm also going to quote the 10 Dancing on My Own, rated 14.0, being bet at 7.0 unders. Look, the only advantage anywhere near the top of this market is Gable. I'm just going to have a quick look at Gable. Race 2 Flemington. I'm not saying it's a bet. I'm saying we're going there to have a very quick look. Okay, by Cool As a Bill out of the Commands mare. Blinkers off first time, draws the 1 alley. Failed behind High Vol last time out. That was 1400. Today they go 1400 again. The one thing I want to have a look at is the reason it failed and to line that up versus a maiden win at Geelong the start prior. Okay, second home. Second at Cranbourne behind Stay Cosmic the start prior. The Stay Cosmic form reference. Stay Cosmic then goes to Flemington, runs second in the Anzac Day Stakes. So we've got a line there. Out of Gable's maiden win, right? When it knocked off Signoretti and Crackadeal. The second horse home, Signoretti. Start prior was second to Stay Cosmic, beaten 1.75. Improved from that run into the Gable second in a smaller field. Stay Cosmic then was beaten 0.75, 0.2 of a length by High Vol in the Anzac Day Stakes. That's one line that confirms that the failure of Gable behind High Vol in the Anzac Day Stakes may be able to be forgiven, right? Blinkers come off now, first time punters. Third home out of that, beaten a length. Then went to the Anzac Day Stakes as well, was beaten 5.2, got too far back, 10th of 10. So second and third out of that race have got form references back to the Anzac Day Stakes. High Vol, who settled back in last, finished 8th. Blinkers off first time. Barrier 1. Change of pattern. Fourth home out of that race at Geelong, beaten 1.8, double it. Start prior, beaten 4.7 by Stay Cosmic, right? Improved from run to run. You think that naturally, there's 2 lines out of second, third and fourth that suggest that Gable can hit a new peak here. Let's just go have a quick look at the pedigree of this one. Okay, by Cool As a Bill out of the Commands mare, Her Story. We'll go back through the first, second, third dam. The second dam by Fuji Kaseki. The third dam we'll get to in a second. Her Story was a 3 from 16 winner by Commands. She did a lot of her racing in town. The second dam, Fuji Dancer, was a stakes winner. She won the listed Gibson Carmichael, stretching out to 1600. And Dancer's Glory, the third dam, by Danzator, son of Northern Dancer. Well, she's got 1 stakes winner, obviously, which is a second dam. You get back to the fourth dam, bit of a blue hen. 4 stakes winners of 18 stakes races. Gurner's Lane, Melbourne Cup, Caulfield Cup winner. Sovereign Red, Australian Derby winner. Western Mail Classic winner. Rothman Dooman 10,000. Caulfield Guineas, Victorian Derby. Underwood. JJ Liston, Craigley. Trichelle, won a Marlborough Cup at Group 1 level. Punters. What price are they going to bet Gable at? 20.0. Based off its last start failure, we found a lot of upside in the pedigree, and we found 2 form lines coming out of its win at Geelong that suggests that failure in the Anzac Day Stakes can be forgiven, especially at 20-1. It's worth a throw at the stumps for 1 unit. It has to be. Has to be. All right, so what we're going to do now, punters, is you need to get onto the channel, go watch the previews of 3, 4 and 5 at Flemington. I'm going to take a break for 10 minutes. We've been at it for nearly 2 hours. You know, we did 3.5 hours last night, 3 hours, 20 minutes the night before. You got a 50-1 winner at York last night. You got a 7-1 winner in the second race. You got Rebels Romance at 7-4 in the 4th race. You've got Scone. That's over on YouTube in that 3.5 hour live that's been loaded up there now. I'll be back for more. I want to take a break for half an hour. You know, bit of time to myself. We've got plenty of time to go today, punters. Hope you've enjoyed it. That's session 1. As you can see in the name, each session, right? We'll be back for another session soon. We win when you win. Let's settle in for the day. Let's have a winning day. You want to keep getting all this live? Go to TWF Horse Racing. Go to the lounge. Click on Best 5. Pay $9.90 a day for 9 lives. Trust the process. Read the TWF mantras. Get in the TWF lounge. All this is there. Everything. What more do you need, punters? Live trader, Best 5, previews. The punter known as go. We win when you win. See you, punters. See you.